What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Around the Monitor, the weekly gaming news talk show where every point you make in the discussion is a point towards winning. I'm your host, Zach. The way things work here, we talk through the week's news in gaming. Every time somebody makes an interesting point or a joke, they get an actual point, and whoever has the highest score at the end of the show wins for that week. If you're watching the show live, which you can do on twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, you can vote along using the Twitch channel points to add or subtract from people as you see fit once per round. But joining me once again, we've got the world's #1 Psychonauts 2 fan, David.
Why, hello.
We've got the Ace Attorney, Pridge.
I think it's been like 4 weeks since I've been on one of these, so I don't remember how this works.
We've got the Prophet of Kermit, Chris.
It's Thursday. You know what that means.
We surely do. And
I don't remember what that means.
And last but not least, the hockey sticks and sickle herself, Elise.
We may never know what Thursday means.
We surely won't.
It keeps me up at night, wondering.
Why Thursday?
It keeps me up at night, but only on Wednesday. It's weird.
Yeah. What does tomorrow mean? Once I get there, I just stop caring.
What is Thursday, if not another Wednesday? If you haven't watched the show, we always start with a trivia question to determine the talking order. And this week's trivia question is, folks, Deltarune Chapter 2, it's a-comin'. It will be here tomorrow, amazingly. Kind of a surprise drop by Tony Fox. My question to you all is, how many days has it been since Deltarune Chapter 1 was released? Sorry.
You called him Tony Fox.
I did just call him Tony Fox.
Tony Fox
Toby
made this
Fox.
game in a cave with a box of scratch.
Tony Fox. God damn it. Sorry, how many days between Deltarune Chapter 1 and Deltarune Chapter 2?
Both games by Toby Fox.
Correct.
Chris? What you doing there, buddy?
Oh, no. You want the actual answer? Because it was opening RuneScape.
No.
Sorry.
Fuck, I don't even know how long it's been in not days. 912.
912.
1651.
1651.
Okay, no, actually, I don't know. That sounds too high.
700.
At least, to be
700.
clear, you're guessing on Deltarune, not Undertale, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll take 750.
750. The correct answer is 1052.
Okay.
How many years is it?
It was
A
Halloween.
little over 3 years.
Halloween 2018 was when the game came out.
So right around 3 years. A little
Yeah.
less.
So less than
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that does mean the order will be David, followed by Chris, followed by Pridge, followed by Elise.
Correctamundo.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how math works.
I thought it was like 2016.
I think that's When
I think
Chris
that's
was like, that was
Undertale.
Undertale, yeah. Undertale
Yeah.
is like
That
5
was
years
like
old
20
now.
15.
I was
Yeah,
in college
yeah,
when
yeah.
Undertale came out, so it it was right around
Undertale
there.
was 2015, but Deltarune was pretty
15,
far after.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this week's topics. We've got Nvidia. This is actually, I don't know if y'all saw this. This is actually a great little bit. Nvidia had a huge list of
Yeah.
upcoming games leaked for their online streaming service, which included very real and possible titles to appear on the service like God of War, Crash Team Racing, but then it also included titles such as Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah.
And their
Crisis
response
4 also.
in Crisis 4, and their response to it was like, no, it's not real, we swear, but it is real, but not all the games listed are real, we swear.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. God of War Ragnarok.
Somebody got fucking fired,
I'm
by the way,
sure.
on that one.
God of War Ragnarok will end the Nordic God story. It will not be a trilogy, says producer of God of War Ragnarok, Corey. Fuck, fuck, is it Balrog or Barlog?
Barlog.
Barlog.
It's
I
Barlog.
will
He's
never
not-
remember.
He's not the Street Fighter character. However, if he wanted a career in games, he should have changed his name. Sorry, Corey. I'm sorry, dog. That's how it goes.
Listen, the title of the stream, 4 freaking years after the Nintendo Switch's release, it finally has Bluetooth audio, which apparently was just an update Nintendo had to do this entire time.
Gamers rise.
Twitch has started suing users behind the hate raids that have been active on the site. Ubisoft is bringing back the hit Driver franchise to be a show on the streaming service Binge. You know, Binge.
Should I miss reading this article?
Razer is making gaming finger sleeves for mobile gamers.
Let's go! Gamers rise!
In maybe the best term of events, Epic and Apple both lost in the lawsuit between the two companies. The base Nintendo Switch model.
Is that what Zach said?
He said Epic and Apple.
No way. Did I really?
You fucking absolutely did,
God,
man.
I'm such a moron. The base Nintendo Switch model has dropped price in Europe. Will that come to the States anytime soon? Former Bungie composer has been charged with contempt of court and up to a $100,000 fine of use of Destiny music after he left the company. Pro Evolution
Story
Soccer's...
is wild.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is very weird. Pro Evolution Soccer's successor, eFootball, which is free to play, has a $40 DLC pack that cannot be used until 2 months after the game's release. This is the wildest marketing strategy I've ever heard. Will it pay off for them? Actually, probably. And last but not least, Activision's employees are now suing the company for their union-busting efforts and intimidation during the ongoing lawsuit by the state of California. All right. David, what would you like to talk about for the first topic of this week's show?
Let's start from the top of the dock. Let's talk about these Nvidia leaks.
Okay.
'Cause this shit's interesting.
It's really cool,
And
yeah.
also not at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah.
So, as Zach said, basically a database list was available through NVIDIA GeForce Now if you knew where to look, what APIs to hit, that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
And so some people decided to ping that stuff and see what games were coming to NVIDIA GeForce Now. And the list was extensive.
It was a
There
lot.
was mostly not surprising stuff on the list. It was a lot of PC games or some console games that were already on like PS Now or
Mhm.
Xbox Game Pass or the Epic Game Store or something like that. So most of the list, not surprising.
Mhm.
A few things on the list, very interesting.
Uh-huh.
And I say very interesting. A lot of these things we already knew about too, which is stupid. But like, I'm just gonna read this list of highlights off of Video Games Chronicle real quick.
Mhm.
We got the God of War, the Returnal, Demon's Souls, the remake, the GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas remasters, which have already been rumored about, so that's not a huge surprise.
Mhm.
Code names for Xbox projects, that's helpful. Thanks.
Yeah.
Useful leak right there.
Yeah.
Fight for Middle Earth? Don't know what that is. Could it be the Gollum game? Maybe, but hopefully not.
God, I hope not.
It's not. That has a name.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean they use the correct name in the list or the database. Trust me.
Fair.
That's fair.
Especially as they have code names for the Xbox projects.
Mhm.
There's an Injustice 3 in there. Again, not a surprising thing. Human Fall Flat 2, cool. Total War 9, cool. I like Total War, great. Helldivers 2, awesome. Halo 5 Guardians
Helldivers 2
for
is a
PC.
wild one because it's been a long time since the first
It's
game.
been a long
I
time.
don't think anybody's really thought about that game or there being a
It sold a
sequel for
lot. It sold a lot.
It did really well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Halo 5 Guardians for PC, which I'm pretty sure we were told would eventually happen, so okay. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled for PC, legit, thought it was there already. So
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not.
BioShock 2022, we already know Cloud Chamber's working on BioShock, so they put a date on it that is almost certainly not happening. Final Fantasy 7 Remake for PC, not a shocker. As far as we knew, there was a year exclusive deal that got pushed with
back,
the DLC, pushed back with the DLC deal. Bayonetta 3, okay, sure, I'll believe that's real when it's in someone's hands. Crisis 4. Does that
Crisis-
exist already?
Oh no, Crisis 4 is a
No.
non-existent game.
Okay. Yeah, that's not happening.
That's
And
not-
Kingdom Hearts 4, which I legitimately think was someone putting a joke into this thing.
Yeah.
They needed to put in some titles in here for some QA, and some guy thought it'd be funny to put in Kingdom Hearts 4, because Tetsuya Nomura ain't gonna have that done for another 13 years.
We can hope not.
Listen, some of this stuff is cool. Most of it is things we already knew and things that are not surprising. I don't think we actually learned as much from this leak as a bunch of people are freaking out about. Like, PlayStation has been putting a ton of stuff on PC recently. We just had the what was the new game they announced for PC?
I mean, Death Stranding.
Just with their last showcase. No, they announced one the showcase. Uncharted. There.
Oh,
Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. They just announced that, so it's not shocking that, like, hey, Horizon's there, Death Stranding's there, Uncharted is there now. God of War and Returnal are next step. Returnal's going to do better on PC than it does on PlayStation. I'm pretty convinced. That's where all your roguelike fanatics are. They're on PC where all those games come out. So, not shocked at all. Demon Souls for PC, 0% shock.
Yeah.
We knew about GTA. There are some in here that are cool. Fight for Middle-earth. Could that be some, like, Monolith's new project that we literally know nothing about? We haven't heard anything from them since Shadow of War. That could be cool. Could be interested to see if they do some more stuff with a Nemesis system and, like, a more soldier oriented thing. Who knows? The rest of this, there's really nothing new. I think there's a lot of people freaking out over not that much information, honestly. People just hyped to see games that they're hyped for be mentioned. Which, and let's be very clear here, this is a database from Nvidia. There is a ton of people that work with Nvidia every year to make sure, like, drivers and stuff work, that are games that are 4 or 5 years out, games that get canceled, games that are just, like, doomed to fail. So, like, this list, by no means will all of these come out, nor will they. That BioShock 2022, no. That's a hope and a prayer right there. So,
David, let me
while this stuff is cool, listen, while this stuff is cool, reel in and tame your expectations, because we ain't getting all this. All this ain't happening. And it's certainly not all going to happen on GeForce Now, which had, I believe, just, what was it, last year, had the issue of they started to put a bunch of games up that weren't, like, explicitly licensed to them.
Yeah, they did it without the consent of the publishers, and then they were like, no,
so
you don't get to do that.
Yeah, calm down, because I'm pretty sure there are numerous people in this list that probably have not even given their consent to put the game on the service. And it's just Nvidia preparing, because they want to be ready for these games when they're announced, and so they can immediately have it up on GeForce Now and be like, hey, this is going to come out, we have this.
Speaking of something that is happening, Chris, what would your topic for the show be?
I want to talk about a games company that has their finger on the fucking pulse of what this industry is all about.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And that is, of course, something that goes on your finger. It's the fucking Razer finger gloves,
he got
baby!
us, folks. He got us. That was really good. That was
Everyone's
a good intro.
favorite company that made that fucking RGB face mask that I already ripped on earlier this year is back at it. Like, they're fucking got some sort of weird vendetta against me personally by giving us stupid bullshit that happens to have RGBs, and this time it goes on your fingies.
Well, to be fair, there isn't RGBs on the thing.
There's not. There's just like
but
a
if there
strip of, like,
was,
green.
I might buy it.
I'll just wait for version 2.
Yeah, seriously. It just has a huge battery pack you put on your wrist and 2 wires going up. Razer was like, hey, you guys, don't you guys have phones? And then they want to sell you little finger condoms you put on your thumb and pointer fingers so you can play phone games better. This is stupid. I want to just get ahead of that. This is a stupid thing that doesn't matter. However, I will note that the Kotaku article points out, which fucking blew my goddamn mind, that the mobile gaming industry is now worth an estimated $15.1 billion. Now, I know a lot of that's like your Candy Crushes and such. I did a little more digging and to see what like the market share of peripherals for your phone is.
Okay.
for phone gaming. It's considered to be about 2.8 billion is the ballpark number.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Hey, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Razer
Yeah.
said, "I'll be having some of that, please." And it's those things you put on the edge of a joystick on a controller that makes you supposed to make you a better FPS shoot boy or whatever the fuck they're all.
Yeah.
It's like a little hat that
Like
goes on top of
Control
your
Freaks?
joystick. Control Freaks is one of the
Oh,
brands.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
These are basically that, but for your fingers. And honestly, it's dumb, but we've seen worse bullshit targeted at #gamers this year. And honestly, I can see people with that art gamers using this because, hey, better grip on your phone when you're trying to speed text. Someone's gonna find that useful.
Mhm.
But anyway, I wanted to. What now?
Just
Oh.
wear gloves.
I mean, but I assume these would be cheaper than buying those gloves with the thingies on the finger. I have a pair of those, and they were quite expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, Razer's making these. I imagine these aren't cheap.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of bullshit for gamers, I wanted to backdoor into the Aces Republic of Gamers and IKEA collab. That's right,
Sure.
motherfuckers. You guys want to talk about RGB? IKEA's let's get into that sweet RGB game. Look at this whole room. How they do mock-ups of rooms at IKEA that we've made just for #gamers. And guess what? It's fucking hideous.
Yeah, I don't love it.
I want to highlight just a couple of things that IKEA thinks are #for gamers. Sort of like a grid datascape aesthetic on the walls and floors, which is the worst thing ever. I don't know if that mesh couch is supposed to be an actual mock-up or not, but I hate it. A wall that has two features on it: RGB lights and egg crate soundproofing.
yeah.
Something that individually purchasing, I'm sure, would cost you a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
But it's egg crates and RGB at the end of the day. But IKEA will sell it to you for substantially more money. And
IKEA's
still-
cheap. What are you
and-
talking about?
and
That's their whole thing.
Yeah, but it's packing, baby. It's
You
all
gotta-
about the packing.
You got to put it together yourself, though.
You gotta put it together if you buy it off Amazon, Zach. It's the same shit. Also, I find it geeksploitation that in the fucking product image they had a fucking
Exploitation.
yeah, it's a good word, right? They had a fucking cool gamer with blue hair and a fucking nose piercing as the stand-in for this is what gamers are.
Tyler
we
Ninja
will
Blevins.
we will look back on this era of #for gamers with all the fucking RGB lights and fucking finger gloves for your phone with the same contempt that we look on early 2000s fashion.
Probably.
Yeah.
That being
Yeah,
being
that
said,
sounds not fair.
that raisable lowerable desk at a cheaper price, yes, please.
Yeah. I do love my mechanical desk. Pridge, what topic would you like to build yourself?
Alright. The only topic I apparently didn't even notice the first time I was reading it, but I like to go off on things like this.
Okay.
Ubisoft is reviving that hit video game series that I've totally heard of, Driver,
Yeah.
as a live action series exclusive to that streaming service I've totally heard of, Binge.
Binge.
When I read this headline, the only word I recognized was Ubisoft. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I had to do some research. First off, what the fuck is Driver? So I discovered that Driver is a series with 5 main installments that ran from 1999 to either 2000 to, well, depending on what the mainline games went until 2011, but there was also a free-to-play mobile game in 2014.
Man.
Apparently, it's a game where you control a former race car driver turned undercover cop. Exciting.
Please read his terrible fake name. It's so good.
John Tanner.
Oh. Let's
Also,
just
please.
This summer, John Tanner is
Driver.
Hey, but in Driver 2, you meet his partner, Tobias Jones.
Oh shit.
Which is also a great name.
Yeah.
And then after that, I had to look up what the fuck Binge is.
Yeah.
Binge is a video streaming subscription available in Australia.
Oh.
So that's nice. That's going to have some wide appeal for Australia. And it has, as of June 2021, 800,000 subscribers, and 700 of which are paying subscribers.
Wait,
so,
you said 700?
1,000.
Oh, I mean, still not great.
Okay.
But
No.
That's better.
Yeah. So, you know,
that's a
that
lot better.
Still not great.
it started in August of 2020. Sorry, it launched in May of 2020.
Okay.
And they're close to getting that 1 million subscribers.
but not paid.
Yes, it'll take a little longer to get a million paid subscribers.
I mean, even old school RuneScape has 1 million paid subscribers.
Hey.
I guarantee the membership costs more than they're on Binge anyway.
That's true. Isn't it like 15 for old school RuneScape?
11 a month.
Jesus Christ! For a game that looks like that,
Awful.
I'm just gonna throw. Well, first of all, it gives you 2 games. Both look like shit. I'm gonna throw this out there. If you buy a membership for an online MMO video game, whatever the fuck, and you're buying it by the month, you're a fucking idiot.
that's fair. I mean,
Like,
I
the
mean,
discounts-
if you don't plan to
discounts-
play it that long.
Yeah. That's fine. But if you're playing an MMO, you're probably planning to play it for probably at least 90 fucking days. Buy the 3 month. It's gonna be cheaper.
yeah.
Only if you actually.
The way I see it, I never know when I'm gonna drop a game. So if I pay for like 3, 4, 6 months, then I'm gonna drop it in like a month or 2.
Then just play EVE
I
or
just
RuneScape where you
overpay.
can buy the membership with in-game currency.
I
Or
mean,
WoW, even technically, you can do it there too.
You knew
but-
WoW?
Oh.
Yeah.
So Driver, guys, we're
Sorry.
getting off topic. We're talking about Driver here and Binge.
When's the
things that
Driver
we
MMO?
all know about. So as we know, Ubisoft has been trying to get into, I guess, television.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because we're getting the hit video game based on the series, based on the video game based on the series, Skull and Bones. The hit television series Skull and Bones, based on the hit video game Skull and Bones, which is based on the hit television show Skull and Bones.
Uh-huh.
All of which that totally exist and are totally coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But real talk, what the fuck, Ubisoft?
Yeah.
No one knows what this fucking series is. The plot is as generic as hell. You could just make a show about race cars. It doesn't have to be based on. Why are you trying to base a television, a live action show on a series no one knows about? Like, the point of an adaptation is you want to be recognizable for the source material. The source material of this is a fucking game no one's heard about that has a really generic plot.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
It's an odd choice.
I played as a very small child.
It's a batshit insane choice. Greenlit it. It's like, guys, we need more television shows. What game franchise can we use? Driver? Yeah, sure, Driver. Did they confuse it for what's that one movie that's just like Drive that has like
Drive. You're thinking of Drive.
A fun fact:
With
Drive
Ryan
actually
Gosling.
came out exactly 10 years ago today.
with Ryan Gosling. It's 10
Yeah.
years old.
Yes, it's 10 years old. I saw that fact today, and I was like,
Wait,
wow,
it's only
I'm
10 years old?
ancient. Yeah, Drive is 10 years old now.
I mean, that game has an actual interesting plot. Like, if you're gonna make if you're gonna adapt something, adapt the hit Ryan Gosling film Drive. I don't know what the fuck Driver is.
That costs more than $3 though.
Yeah.
Just
this
Oh
is-
yeah, it's exactly 10 years old today.
This
Yeah.
is
Came out September
for
16th.
this is for business people. This does not matter to us. And you know how I know that? It's because I get a lot of unhinged emails from like higher ups in my company because they just send it to like the entire company because they're fucking insane. And I got an article about this. That's what I was going to talk about when I took the topic in the second round.
No shit.
Because someone we represent is involved. It doesn't fucking matter. But they just linked like the article, and then above it had written one line of text. Video games are really coming into the media.
No.
Period. Link. Signed email. Sent to the whole company.
Video games are really coming into the
Real
media.
quick before we move on, real quick. Pridge glossed over this one. The most recent game that was the free-to-play mobile game is Driver Speedboat Paradise,
Yeah,
where you drive boats,
You
not
know,
cars.
I think that might have been what sold Ubisoft on picking up his property, so they can tie it into the other hit boat show, Skull and Bone.
Yeah.
That was such a stretch.
Yeah, you
Driver
really-
parallel lines.
Elise,
True.
get us out of this situation. What do you want to talk about for your first topic of the show?
Let's talk about labor rights.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So in the absolute roller coaster, is it a roller coaster if it only goes down?
I was gonna say it's more of like the elevator rides where you just drop in free fall.
Yeah. Yeah, the free fall ride that is the Activision Blizzard side. As we know, it started off with the state of California suing Activision for having huge like frat bro culture, discrimination against especially women of color. And then it turned into them destroying evidence.
Not a good
in
look.
this lawsuit.
Not a good look.
Not a good look. And now we're getting Activision Blizzard's workers are accusing the company of union busting and intimidation, and they're suing for themselves. So now Activision Blizzard has to deal with both the California lawsuit and the lawsuit filed by the workers to the National Labor Relations Board. Basically, I think we talked about this a little while ago, that in the wake of the lawsuit, the California lawsuit, Activision hired the same union busting company that Amazon uses.
Yes.
I think it was Amazon, yeah.
I believe that's correct.
If it wasn't
And
Amazon, it
basically
was some
said,
other
yeah,
place
look,
that did the same thing.
Yeah. And they were like, hey, look, we're hiring an independent auditor to help us improve our workspace. But it wasn't that. It was just a union busting firm. And so now they're being sued, basically saying that through intimidation and unfair labor practice, they have been illegally prevented from organizing, from unionizing, which is not something you want to be accused of.
Sure don't.
It's also very interesting because it's really hard to. Union busting is illegal.
Yes.
However, there are a lot of things that are union busting that aren't illegal. So it is hard to get that conviction, or to get that, like, to win this case.
Yes.
If they do win, that's a huge win for the Activision Blizzard workers. Because, goddamn, there's been a lot of stuff in the saga. There's been worker walkouts, there's been unionizing, there's been threatening and intimidation against the union organizers. It's just been an absolutely wild ride. And I'm really, really rooting for these workers because not only just for Activision Blizzard workers themselves, because obviously them, but also because this will set a precedent for like future union busting cases, which I think is
and just
gives me a bit of hope.
And just unionization across the video games industry in general, which I think
pretty
much all of us here have said that this is something we're pretty pro, because it seems like the industry needs something like this to protect the workers who are pretty consistently being taken advantage of in numerous ways.
Remember, union
And,
busting is illegal, but very, very strong suggestions that you don't join a union. Very, very strong suggestions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what all the fuss is about. They get to make video games for a living. It must be fun and easy.
It must be so great working on something you're so passionate about that you work 100-hour weeks and get
Put up with-
sexually harassed every day.
Yeah.
It must be worth it.
It must be. That's why burnout isn't a thing that happens in this industry ever.
Burnout what?
And people always stay for more than 5 years. Burnout Paradise, similar to the Driver franchise.
Almost as popular as the franchise Driver.
Sorry,
And
Lisa.
that said, like the game space is heavily underutilized or underunionized.
Mhm.
Are there any like actual video game companies that are organized other than like some small indie ones?
No.
I don't
do not believe so.
No,
There is an organization called Game Workers Unite that is trying to.
Yes,
Mhm.
But
is like
Yeah, so
they're
far
not a
no,
union.
no,
They're like-
no, they're not a
a
union. They're
union-
like they're trying to encourage unionization. They are not a union. Is basically
Yes.
what they are. But as far as I'm aware, there's no decently sized studio that has a union.
Mhm.
And what you need is a foot in the door. We've seen, I believe it's Starbucks, one store organized, one store unionized in
Mhm.
Starbucks, and they literally sent like the highest executives of the company to go like fill their positions and like starve them out basically.
Mhm.
Because once you get one foot in the door for unionization, it's like over.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, there's still a whole bunch of work to be done, but like that's
Totally.
the hardest step is just starting.
Yeah.
And like once
It's a
you
domino
get
effect.
the unionization ball rolling, it's like it's only a matter of time. So if Activision Blizzard do finally get recognition as a union, do finally like fully organize, this is a really, really strong step forward
Especially as
for the entire industry.
the largest video game publisher, like third-party publisher in the world, that would be pretty goddamn amazing.
And don't forget, we say Activision Blizzard, but this is Activision Blizzard King.
Yes.
Who are King being like the most profitable mobile game developer
Yes.
publisher.
It's either that
They're
or
the Candy
Supercell,
Crush
but
people?
I think they are more profitable.
So.
Yeah, they're up there.
And not to mention Call of Duty and Overwatch and Diablo and
Mhm.
Warcraft and like it just goes on with the amount of extremely valuable
Driver.
properties they own. And Driver, not Driver.
That's Ubisoft. It's Ubisoft.
Oh, sorry, that's Ubisoft. One abuser group or the other.
Yeah.
What's the
Exactly.
difference?
When the fuck is our driver full LP?
Not gonna
Never.
happen.
Literally never.
Going back around in the order, David, what would you like to talk about for your second topic of the show?
Oh man.
And I will say, we'll reiterate, second round, let's go faster.
Yeah. We're having
All right, you know,
Yeah,
if we're
we
going
are.
faster, I'm not going to take the crazy topic. I'm going to go with after 4, honestly, close to 4.5 years,
Yeah.
the Switch finally has Bluetooth audio.
fucking Nintendo.
How'd they do it, David?
I hate this. I hate that this was possible for so long and Nintendo just didn't do it. So listen, I'm a reasonable techie.
Mm-hmm.
After being this far out in the Switch not getting Bluetooth audio, I just assumed there was a hardware limitation. Like, hey, if you attach... Actually, why would they even do this? Like, if you attach 8 Joy-Cons to play Smash or something and them being like, yeah, the Bluetooth audio experience gets really degraded, so we don't want that. Like, okay, just put that on the box. Like,
Yeah,
listen, your audio experience, if connected to Bluetooth, is shitty if you have 8 Joy-Cons connected. Like, I thought this was a hardware limitation or bandwidth. But no, Nintendo's just fucking weird and lazy in the weirdest ways.
Yeah.
Like, they do cool stuff. Like they made HD Rumble in the Joy-Cons. Why
What?
the fuck didn't they make Bluetooth audio thing?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't. Their priorities are so wild to me. They're like, well, we need to sell those amiibos, so we need RFID detectors in the Joy-Cons, in the Pro controller, in the Switch itself. Put that in everything, but up our Bluetooth stuff? No, don't touch that. Don't work on that firmware piece. No, we need the RFID detector firmware to be truly updated. Like, this can't have been that hard. There is no way in fucking hell this was that hard. They just had this sitting in their goddamn backlog for Switch firmware, and one day an engineer was like, "Oh, we should probably do this, huh?" And that was like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I don't. Again, obviously, none of us like have been in this position like with putting out firmware updates for anything, but like.
Okay, listen, while I have not worked on firmware, I have worked on like API updates for backends and stuff like that, which is not hugely different. You're putting an update out, and honestly, in some ways, it's easier. You're putting an update out that all of the hardware can run because there's only a few Switch models that you can QA. It's not like putting an API out where there can be any goddamn computer in existence and you have to make sure it runs on things that have like horrible specs. Like, no, this is just a Switch. They've got like, what, 4 or 5 different SKUs to check for?
I don't even think that many.
They've got the Lite, the OG Switch, the Switch with the new battery, the
And now
OLED.
the OLED.
So 4.
Okay, yeah. You're right. I forgot about the 2 different models of the OG Switch.
Yeah. And then if they have others and that are coming up soon, they would want to test those ahead of time too. But like, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah,
it's a special kind of lazy where you do 99% of the work and then you're like, and you just stop.
It's like it can't have taken that much work. You get like probably one engineer to do the firmware stuff, and then another to do the UI. Like probably a couple engineers and someone on the UI side, and then some QA and like a producer or something like that. That's not that bad. This wouldn't take that long. Like,
yeah,
you just define which Bluetooth thing you're using. If it's like, hey, if you're using a Bluetooth version behind this, we don't support it. Above this, we support it. Congratulations, we're done. What the hell?
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Why did it take this long? I've been buying wired headphones because of this shit, and they gotta just have Bluetooth for 4.5 years.
Yeah, and Mankey in the chat said, "I just found out this problem when I bought the brand new wireless earbuds and couldn't connect them to my Switch Lite." Yeah, the first time I got the Switch and was on a plane, I had my wireless headphones, and I was like, "Oh, how do I connect them?" And I literally spent like 20 minutes trying to figure it out. I was like,
it just doesn't.
You can't. Well, shit."
Absolutely wild that it took this long. At the same time, I am very happy it has finally happened.
Yeah.
Because I no longer have any devices left that I need to have wired headphones for, thank God.
Yeah. Bluetooth, the future of technology that was 7 years ago, is now here. Chris, what was
longer ago than that?
Yeah, I don't just picked an arbitrary time. Chris, what would you like to talk about for your second topic of the show?
Let's just hit one of the ones that's actually somewhat big and talk about Mr. Barlog and his Gods of War.
Yeah.
This time there's only 2 Gods of War, and then we'll be done with the Kratos, and well, maybe not with Kratos, but we'll do something else after that.
Mm-hmm.
Says Mr. Barlog in an interview with Captain Cuba on YouTube.
I'm sorry, what?
Cuba. That's the guy's fucking name, man. It could be Captain Cuba. I don't know his fucking life.
That's okay. If it's a YouTube name, it's actually a good name. But anything else?
Anyway, but okay. So this is it. Just 2 Gods of War, and then we're done with the Norse series, which I am excited about. And there's a couple reasons why I'm excited, but Barlog actually said it himself the best way. He explained Santa Monica Studios didn't want players to have to wait 15 years to experience a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
I assume when he when he spoke those words, somewhere in Japan, Tetsuya Nomura hissed, backed away from the light, and quickly started adding X's to more names in Kingdom Hearts characters. 15 X's, in fact. That is one of the best things I have heard a fucking game developer say, which is, I'm not going to make you wait a tremendous amount of time to see the end of my story.
Mhm.
I'm just going to have it done well in 2 games.
Mhm.
And I'm confident that he's going to do that because God of War, the first one, kicks ass.
Yeah.
And look, a lot of people complain about the later God of War games under Barlog, but I blame David Jaffe for leaving Barlog with a flaming pile of donkey dicks called the God of War franchise. And then Sony said, "Fix this," and he went, okay. And I think he did a good enough job and made us care about fucking Kratos of all characters in 2018. Can you imagine how fucking buck wild that is? A character that I wouldn't give a shit about.
Nope.
Thank you. And one other thing Barlock said that made me realize, yeah, this guy fucking gets what I'm looking for in video games. He talks about the experience I had when I got the extended edition box set of Lord of the Rings, and I was able to say, wow, I can sit down and have the 13 and a half hours of this I want. This sentence makes no sense. 13 and a half hours of this experience, playing them one after another back to back. And I just thought that was fantastic. Amazing. So to be able to say you could probably start God of War 2018 and then play God of War Ragnarok and feel like you're getting the entirety of the story, I kind of want that to happen maybe before my kid is in college.
Damn.
I fucking love this man.
Yeah, that's good.
I will say, like, yeah, I'm very excited for this. I liked God of War 2018. It didn't blow me away, but it was a really good game. I'm shocked that they managed to make a story that I give a shit about that involves fucking Kratos. And I have great confidence in Barlog. I do think this kind of sounds like, hey guys, I would really like to not work on God of War for a while. I've been doing it since like 2006. Hey Sony, can I not work on God of War for a while?
Yeah, they did release that documentary, like Raising
2005.
Kratos.
Raising Kratos, yeah.
The last thing Barlog worked on before this was Backyard Wrestling, don't try this at home in 2003.
Well, I was gonna say he left at
I love
one
that
point.
game. I played that game right after Driver.
I know Corey left at one point, and I think he actually started working with the guy from Team Bondi, if I'm not mistaken.
No
really?
way.
I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure he started to do something with them and then ended up coming back to Sony Santa Monica.
Yes,
but yeah,
correct.
like
he was he was out of Sony for 8 months in 2010.
Well,
yeah, and they brought him back.
Yeah, weird.
but no, I mean, I and he's been very candid about it on different like interviews or talk shows or whatever,
Mhm.
where he just like worked like a monster on God of War 2018 and was just like, hey, I have a wife and kid. I just kind of want to be a little bit more available for them, you know?
That's fair.
If you are interested in like seeing what crunch looks like in a studio and what the like back end of game development looks like, watch Raising Kratos.
It's really
Kratos.
He did it again.
Damn you, Tails!
Watch Raising Kratos because like it is legitimately a really good documentary on game development.
It's fantastic.
I hope they let him do a new IP after this. I'd like to see Corey Barlog just be like, here's my weird bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, dude's
I'm not
proven
mistaken.
that-
They started one and it got canceled.
That's unfortunate.
yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, well, this was a while ago.
But hey, they hired Alana Pierce to write games now, so
Yeah.
give me Barlog and Pierce.
Barlog and Pierce, they're on a podcast together, I think.
Wouldn't
Oh.
wouldn't surprise me, but also I don't fucking know.
Anyways,
Or if they are,
Pridge,
I don't know about it, and I follow Lana's podcast.
That's fair.
So.
There you go.
Pridge, what would you like to talk about for your second topic of the show?
I'll talk about United States District Court, Northern District, California, San Francisco Division, Twitch Interactive Inc. versus Cruise Control on Individual and Creatine Overdose on Individual.
What account?
Sorry,
names
sorry,
are
The
these?
second
title.
name was Creatine Overdose.
Yes.
And
You just
Cruise
know-
Control.
You know that this person's a cool guy, totally on the level. He doesn't have holes in his wall.
Yeah, I love the fact that because they still don't know who these people are, that they have to sue their account names in the lawsuit, which is just welcome to 2021, I
That's
guess.
so funny. Should we go back to using gamertag names for the show?
No.
Oh.
Fuck you. Hi guys, I'm King Kaiser. Welcome to Around the Monitor.
All right, Dapper Dastard, tell us about this topic.
Hey. All right, so in the newest measure to deal with the hate raid problem that Twitch is going through, Twitch has filed the aforementioned lawsuit against two individuals they believe to be significant contributors to the hate raid problem. So they're suing these people, cruise control and creatine overdose.
I did not laugh at that.
I know. One. Yeah, it's funny because it's like Twitch believes this person is in the Netherlands. And it's
No, they don't even, they haven't even like doxed them yet.
Yeah. Cruise Control operated and continues to operate accounts on the Twitch services under aliases including, but not limited to, Cruise Control, Zenobia's Goat, Bambi Block, Lex Ferner, and something that sounds too close to a slur, so I'm not going to say it.
Jeez, Louise.
Someone makes bots to like hate raid and has a slur in their username? Color me shocked.
Yeah, really.
Is that actually? I don't know if it's meant to be a slur. It just sounds too similar to one, so I'm not even gonna try it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Twitch's next method is to try and sue two of these people. On one hand, I'm like, this is definitely the most extreme measure they've taken. Twitch has gone after bots in the past, but those were bots for people trying to inflate their viewer and follower counts. I believe it was back in like 2016 and 2018 that these lawsuits appeared or finished. But this time they're going after these people behind hate raids. So I'm curious, again, I'm very curious how successful this is going to be, because as mentioned, the biggest problem is they still don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
And the whole reason they haven't been able to stop them through normal methods is that they're able to hide under so many aliases, avoid bans, create new accounts, yada, yada, yada. And if it's successful, it will definitely be the most direct way to deal with it, because once the people behind these hate raids start realizing there's going to be actual legal and financial consequences, that will get them to stop. Money talks. So that will, so I hope that Twitch is successful in this.
Yeah.
I don't know in any way, shape, or form if they're going to be. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know how you sue someone when you don't know who the person is.
That's what I was going to say. Sibylla in the chat did say, is it even possible to sue someone you don't know the actual name of?
I mean, if you know them under... Yeah, it's weird, because if you know them under an alias, you should know their real name, but like, who are you serving the papers to?
Right.
How do you get them to appear for anything? How do you request documents from them?
How can you subpoena them to show up?
Right. You just DM them on Twitch like, hey, we sued you. Give us those documents. So, part of me worry this is just Twitch trying to, like, pacify people by feigning an effort, but part of me hopes that this does actually work, because, again, it will be the most straight-on, direct attempt to stop this. And again, with and the other thing that would help here is that if they can get to these guys, they can probably try and find a way through them into the entire hate raid community.
Yeah.
Which would, again, help get to the root of the problem. But yeah, this was a surprising thing to see, and one that I'm gonna, again, obviously the law moves pretty slowly, so I don't know the next time we'll hear any news about this. But I'm curious to keep my eye on this when I do see news, because this could be cool, this could be entirely toothless, but this could also make a solid impact. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's the thing where, I mean, obviously, I'm happy they're actually doing something, and this does seem like an actual good step of like, hey, at least sending a message to people who are doing this, saying, hey, fucking stop, or we're gonna come after you. Obviously,
Reminder that Twitch has still not disabled rating after like
Yep.
2 months of
Yep.
this shit.
That's literally what I'm trying to say next is like, but there are literally so many other steps they could have they could still be taking that would solve this much more in the short term. At
Yeah.
least putting a band-aid on the wound that is already there, but instead they're throwing a Hail Mary and hoping something happens.
I mean, I will
Right.
say, if Twitch is able to be the people that like figure out how to sue someone through their anonymity and figure out their like real shit, we're going to see just a tsunami of fucking people deleting accounts all over the place, because the only reason people are so ballsy and shitty on the internet is because they can be anonymous behind
Yeah.
it. As soon as you can figure out how to get their name from it, everyone's just going to completely abandon ship. Except for the real crazies. They're going to double the fuck down.
Yeah.
The real crazies already have their names attached to their account.
That's true.
This is true.
And it's Ben Shapiro. Got him!
God damn it.
You're not wrong.
Elise, final topic of the show. Bring us home.
Well, from Twitch v Cruise Control and Creatine Overdose to Epic v Apple.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this lawsuit, because I think this is pretty big news in the mobile gaming space.
Absolutely.
This has been, what's it been, like a year and a half since the lawsuit was actually filed?
Sure feels like it.
It's been a long time. Maybe like a year, something like that. If you haven't been caught up, we've talked about it on the show a couple times, but basically Epic tried to put a separate payment option into their game, Fortnite, on the like iOS platform, which meant that they would get all the money instead of just 70% of the money. And Apple wouldn't get paid for in-app purchases through this link. Apple took them off the store, the App Store. That's what it's called. And Fortnite or Epic, in retaliation, sued them. And this has been a huge lawsuit with a bunch of crazy revelations from Discovery and stuff that we've talked about it on this show. But finally, it came to a close this week. And the solution is that they both lost.
Yes.
Essentially, Epic lost because, for one, Apple was allowed to not put them back on the store, keep them off the store for as long as they want. The court found that they were in violation of their contract, and Apple was fine there.
Yes.
For two, Epic needs to pay Apple $3.6 million.
Yeah.
Which to both of those companies is pocket change.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
It's fucking nothing. Epic makes that in a day, probably. Apple makes that in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Apple makes that in the time it took you to say that sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is 30% of the money that Epic got from the in-app purchases that bypassed Apple. So it's basically giving back their cut that Apple was going to take in the first place. The real loss for Fortnite, for Epic here, is that all those months of not having it on the App Store, where they make a significant amount of money, because mobile gaming is very profitable, and continuing to not have it on the App Store. That's the real loss for Epic. The loss for Apple, however, I think is more significant in terms of like how video games, especially mobile games, will be going forward, is that they basically said, look, you did that to Epic and that was fine, but never do that again.
Yeah.
From now on, games can put a button, and how this will shake out is how the courts determine what a button is.
Yeah.
That lets them bypass the Epic stores, like lets them do their own payments and bypass the App Store.
Yeah.
Yes. Did I say Epic Store?
You did.
App Store.
They're close.
Basically, bypass Apple 30% cut. Which we'll see what this means for mobile gaming going forward. I'm sure a lot of games will just accept the 30% cut because it's easier, and for users it's easier to just pay through the App Store with their already set up like payment plan and everything. And if you make it easier to pay, then more people will pay. However, a lot of gaming companies, app companies, are probably going to do the opposite. Are probably going to take advantage of this.
Oh yeah.
Now, what I'm expecting is just turning in-app purchases to, redirecting them.
Yeah. Make
For
you open
future
Safari or on your phone or whatever it is.
For future development, this could mean like quote-unquote free apps that have like an unlock button to unlock the rest of the app.
Mm-hmm.
It could mean like subscription service, mobile games. It could mean a lot of things. And we're going to see how this shakes out. But for now, I'm just celebrating that both of them lost, because fuck both of these companies.
Amen to
Battle
that.
passes.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm in shock that people are just going to be able to bypass paying Apple the 30% as long as they do the work to set that up.
I do want to tap in on one thing.
Okay.
While technically this trial is over, this is not over in the slightest.
Yeah.
Epic has already filed their appeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going to get trapped in at least one more layer of legal proceedings to start.
Yeah.
It could
how
end up
wild
having
would
to
this
go
be?
through. It could end up having to go through multiple more remands and reverses and changes of opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So some of this will stick, but there is the possibility that everything we just said is liable to change in some degree.
Yeah.
So even the Apple thing could be undone by court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, higher courts can review the decisions of lower courts. They can look back and say, "No, you did everything wrong."
I will
That's
say
wild.
if
But that also means that if my understanding of the legal system is correct, and I am a Canadian with no legal experience, that the higher court of appeals set precedents for a much wider range of cases. Is that correct?
Yeah, because you'd go to, the U.S. court systems is like, whatever, I think it's like 13, no, it's like 11 different circuits. I should know the answer to this, I don't. But yes, if this goes to a circuit court and they affirm this, then that decision controls every other court inside their district.
Underneath that.
Mhm.
Okay.
So if a higher circuit court affirms this, then now this was going to have power over a larger area.
Bridge, could this case potentially go to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court decides if Fortnite can be on fucking Apple devices?
All right,
or
boys.
a bunch of fucking octogenarians have to tell me what's good in Fortnite.
All right, boys, place your bets. What does Stephen Breyer think Apple versus
That's
Epic?
what I was literally in my head. I was like, okay, think of literally a single Supreme Court justice, Zach, so you can make a joke like that.
What does?
You can just say, "I like beer." We'll know who that one is.
Yeah, right.
I was trying to think of a way to get like I like Chug Jug in there. As a
Chug
joke.
Jug. Fuck, that's really
Oh,
good.
Kavanaugh
I
sees
just
Chug
like
Jug,
Chug
and he's like, "Oh, I like chugging jugs. Hell yeah! Fortnite on Apple devices. Let's
Oh
fucking
my
go."
Yeah, let's take our bets on what Kavanaugh, Barrett, Gorsuch, Breyer.
I just love the idea of them having to learn about
whatever
Peely.
other chuckle stuffers still on the Supreme Court.
Someone's showing them the fucking the
pictures of the
cinematic
banana.
universe. No, the cinematic universe Fortnite, and so that's Ryu from Street Fighter, and here's him killing Peely. Now you'll remember Peely back from episode 3 when we covered.
What does this have to do with money?
Listen,
here-
you're not paying attention. It's all important. Strings
And
everywhere.
here you see Chun-Li's dummy thick butt.
Yeah.
Everyone starts applauding wildly.
Ah, yes.
And on that glorious note, that's going to do it for this week's show, which does mean David, Pridge, and Chris, it's time to go home and become family men, because this week's winner is Elise. Elise,
Yeah.
are you ready for your minutes to win
Sure.
it? Please take it away.
Sure, I'm just going to cycle back around to the unionization topic because I just want to put my I just want to put my appeal in that everyone support unionization wherever they can. If possible, get your workplace organized. I know it's really tough. It takes a lot of work, but it is definitely worth it. It will improve the working conditions and pay of everyone at your company if you can do it. It's a long road, but it is so worth it. And on that note, unions are just they aren't the end goal, because the end goal is the end of capitalism, so that all workers can be compensated for all of their work all the time and actually have a say in how that work gets done.
Hell yeah.
That's my main point.
I don't know if I expected the twist on that one, but I can't say I disagree. So hell yeah. Folks, thank you for tuning in this week. Other things to plug, we've got tomorrow Dave will be back with some more Psychonauts 2. He has stated he believes this will be the penultimate episode of his full stream of that game on the channel.
Give me something to watch while I'm working.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. This weekend, I believe on Sunday, keep an eye out. We did get a stream code for the game Toem, which is a new photography game. We're going to try and get a stream together for that and play that for y'all, because I'm also actually legitimately excited for it, and it's been getting good reviews, so I want to give that a first impression look. Monday, we'll be back with some more Pokemon. Again, the edited version of that will be up on Sunday. If you haven't watched that series, folks, please actually go do so. It's absolutely fantastic. Carl's editing is incredible, and we have a lot of fun there. And then...
and Carl in this week's episode.
Yeah, Carl made a surprise guest appearance fill-in for Chris, so that was a heck of a lot of fun. Also, hey folks, it's September on Twitch, which does in fact mean subs are 20% off, or gifted or new subs are 20% off. So if you're here in the States, it's normally $5 and we see $2.50 of that. Now you pay $4 and we still see $2.50 of that. So if you feel like throwing a couple bucks our way, we really appreciate that. You can also go over to patreon.com/SaveDataTeam if you'd like to do that. And just one more shell plug for ourselves. We do have brand new merch on etsy.com/shop/SaveDataTeam, which includes the Data Mug, which Chris doesn't have with him, unfortunately, but
It's at my office now.
it's pretty darn cool. Head over there and check that out, folks. We really appreciate that. Folks, that's going to do it for this week's stream. Thank you so much again for listening. Also, you can catch us on podcast services around the world. But until next time, this has been Around the Monitor.